What's going on, guys? I'm Bloody Absol, call me Brock, and welcome to another playthrough challenge video. This video was suggested by Deborah McLean, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, who asked to see if I could beat Pokemon Platinum with only a Ralts. In Generation 4, Ralts is a pure Psychic type with a base stat total of... oh crap, 198. Should have looked at that before writing the script. Anyway, via level up, Ralts only has stab attacks, plus Magic Leaf as coverage. However, it can learn a plethora of different moves through TM. Next, let's discuss the rules for the challenge. First, I can only use a single Ralts in battle. Second, no potions can be used at all. Third, Agent Sleeves can be used. And finally, no glitches. With all that covered, let's go ahead and start this challenge. After our rival barges into our room, and we see him almost run to the tall grass, Professor Rowan screams at him and gives us some Pokemon. After looking at Barry's final teams, I replace Turtwig with Ralts, and we begin our first battle with Barry. He chooses Chimchar, and... I forgot, but at level 5, Ralts only knows the move Growl. After losing our first battle, we continue with the story until we get to Sandgem Town. We nickname Ralts, and after leaving the lab, we get the TM for Return. With this as our only attacking move, we grind to level 6 to learn Confusion. After finding the trainers Route 202, a creepy guy stops us in the middle of Jubilife City. He runs away after getting pepper sprayed, and we head to the Pokemon School and give Barry his parcel. We do the whole Pokesh thing with the clowns, and grind against trainers Route 204. Afterwards, we head to East to get revenge on Barry. Starly only uses Growl, and we knock it out with 2 Confusions, and Chimchar faints after 3. We head past a few more areas and arrive in Oreburgh City. We head down to the mine and drag Rourke out of it to start our first gym battle. After taking damage from Geodude's rock throws and knocking it out, Kratos comes out and completely destroys Ralts with Pursuit. After grinding against level 5 Pokemon for hours on end, I decide to cut bait and use the one thing I despise most. Double Team. After gaining up some double teams and getting down to 8 HP, a Confusion knocks out Geodude, and Astro avoids a Pursuit and lands a critical hit Confusion on Cranidos. Onix comes out and lands a rock throw, but Ralts lives on 1 HP. Rourke heals, and after 2 more Confusions, we defeat Rourke and get the Coal Badge. Once we backtrack to Jubilife City, we help Dawn defeat a couple of Galactic Grunts and progress to Floroma Town. We head east to Valley Windworks just to get locked out of the building. We head back to the town and head to the meadow to fight a few more Grunts and get the spare key. We storm the building just to get to Mars. This is the battle where I found out that Astral had the Trace ability because it copied Zubat's inner focus. Speaking of Zubat, it gets knocked out after just 1 Confusion. Purugly comes out and uses Fake Out, but thanks to Trace, it doesn't flinch Ralts. However, Purugly eats a Confusion, and Ralts faints once again. After grinding level 26 and learning Calm Mind, we set up on Zubat and knock it out with ease and Purugly soon after. Now it's time to head north and battle through the Eterna Forest with Cheryl. Once we get to Eterna City, we head straight for the gym, and the battle couldn't have gone better. After setting up multiple Calm Minds against Turtwig, none of Guardian's Pokemon could deal major damage, and by this point, Astra had learned the move Psychic. With little trouble, Turtwig, Cherim, and Roserade faint, and we earn the Forest Badge. Now that we've beaten the gym, we can use Cut and get access to the Galactic Building. Once we get to the top, it's time to battle Jupiter. This didn't go well. Zubat was easy, but every attack I have is either resisted or has no effect on Jupiter's Skuntank. And for whatever reason, this thing has Night Slash! After grinding, we still get wrecked by Jupiter at levels 30, 35, 40, and 42. I finally broke once again, and decided to use the cursed Double Team. God, I'm starting to hate myself because of this. After setting up a few against Zubat, then using a few Calm Minds, Astra knocks out Zubat and takes Skuntank down after a few boosted Magical Leafs. Once that madness is over, we grab a bike and head down the Cycling Road and fight some trainers Route 207. Right before entering Mount Coronet, Dawn shows up, and we get the Godsend, otherwise known as the Versus Seeker. With this item, we no longer have to grind against wild Pokemon, and just keep beating trainers into the ground and taking their lunch money. Anyway, we head through Mount Coronet and have a quick run-in with Cyrus. Afterwards, we enter Hearthome City. We compete in a quick contest, and afterwards, we head to the gym, and it was incredibly underwhelming. Duskull faints after just 1 Psychic. Mismagius used Confuse Ray, but Astral still lands Psychic and drops Mismagius' special defense. Ventina heals, and Mismagius faints the next turn. Last is Haunter, and with it being part poison type, one Psychic takes it out as well. Surprisingly, the one gym with a type advantage against Ralts gave me the least amount of trouble. Who knew? Once we leave the gym, we can battle our rival again, and it was a slaughterfest. Thanks to our absurdly high level, Psychic knocks out Staravia, Weasel falls to Magical Leaf, and Monferno and Roselia faint after Psychic. Next, we fight Route 209 trainers, blow past Leafeon Town on Route 210 to get to Veilstone City. Once we push punching bags around the gym, we make it to Maylene. Psychic knocks out both Meditite and Machoke, but Lucario is able to survive one after hitting Astro with a Metal Claw. Lucario attacks again, but we can surely... Well, screw you too, Maylene! Second time's the charm, and Lucario doesn't get any crits, and the Culpa badge is ours. The next thing we have to do is help Dawn with another Galactic Grunt double battle. After that, we backtrack to Route 210 to grab the TM for Shockwave for the next gym. Speaking of which, we head south of the Valor Lakefront to go to Pastoria City. Though before we enter the gym, we need to battle Barry once more. After setting up a Calm Mind, Shockwave knocks out Staravia and Weasel, and Psychic does the same thing with Monferno and Roselia. After wiping out the trainers, I'm feeling pretty confident for Wake. But I forgot 3 very important things. 1. Gyarados knows Bite. 2. Floatzel is stupid fast. And 3. Said Floatzel knows how to use Crunch. After having a discussion with my friends and asking them to run a few calcs, the decision was to grind up 10 levels and get enough money to get the Thunderbolt TM from the game corner. With this boost, we can outspeed and one-shot Gyarados with Thunderbolt, lift a Crunch from Floatzel, and one-shot it as well, and Magic Leaf can knock out Quagsire, and with that, we can finally get the Fen badge. This took ages. Once we leave the gym, Barry tells us something about a bomb, and boy, he was not kidding. We chased after the guy that was a little late for 4th of July, but he finally realized that instead of running, he could just battle us. Boy, was that the wrong decision. Anyway, after we beat him, Cynthia randomly shows up and gives us the secret potion. With that, we heal the random Psyduck on Route 210, immediately get rid of this stupid fog, and battle Cyrus at the Celestic Town ruins. It was pretty easy with Thunderbolt knocking out Sneasel, Murkrow, and Golbat with one shot each. After that, we take a quick detour behind the Valley Windworks and get another Thunderbolt TM, which I'll explain later, and with that, we can head east of Jubilife City to Canalave City, and... battle Barry again. Nice! Per usual, we one-shot his entire team, and we progress to the gym. But right before entering, I decided to teach Astral Grass Knot over Magic Leaf, because steel types are heavy. That's it. Anyway, we enter the gym, and everything's going just fine, until... this guy. This guy gave me way more trouble than was necessary. Though we outspeeded Scizor, it one-shots us with X-Scissor. Every single time. I tried grinding on Iron Island, which didn't work. I ran all the way around the region and the underground trying to find blue shards to learn Fire Punch, which didn't work either. So I finally decided to cut bait and grind to level 74, which wouldn't have worked either if for whatever reason, this time Scizor used Pursuit. Either way, that thing is finally dead, and we moved on to the gym leader. After setting up Calm Mind, 2 Thunderbolts knocks out Magneton, and 1 Grass Knot can knock out Bastiodon and Steelix right after. After we leave the gym, we get called to the library just to see another fireworks fiasco on the TV. Speaking of which, why the hell is there a TV in the library? People are trying to read here! They're trying to further their education! This makes no sense! Anyway, once we arrive at Lake Valor and maneuver around all the dying Magikarp, we can enter the cave and battle Saturn. Bronzor faints after 2 hits and can't really do anything. Golbat goes down after a Thunderbolt, and Toxicroak faints to a Psychic. Next, we have to fly to Lake Verity and fight Mars. She still leads with her Inner Focus Golbat, so with Trace, we can knock out Golbat and bypass the flinch from Fake Out to knock out Purugly with Psychic. Next is Bronzor and it faints just after a Thunderbolt. Once that's done, we have to head north through a cave, the Snowstorm, and Snow bears us up to our chins, just to help Air because little blonde boy can't... How the hell did he get up there? I guess to help Barry, we have to fight another gym. Once we slide around the gym for a bit, we can eventually get to Candace and get destroyed because Sneasel outspeeds and hits us hard with Feint Attack, and Frostlass finishes things with Shadow Ball. To solve this, instead of grinding, I ran all across the region picking up every last rare candy I missed. By the end of it, I had picked up 9 rare candies and leveled up Astro to level 89. We head back to the gym and we can outspeed and one-shot Sneasel with a Thunderbolt. Waltz is unable to knock out Frostlass however, but it only uses Double Team and we can knock it out the next turn. Bombsnow's next, and it can live a Psychic and the recoil from its Wood Hammer. Cadence heals her Pokemon, and after getting some chip damage with Grass Knot, a Bombsnow faints to Psychic. Right after that, Piloswine faints to a Grass Knot. Now that we have the badge, we can climb up the cliff just in time to see Jupiter stomp Barry into the ground. She drops a subtle hint about going back to Veilstone, so we do just that. Once we battle some grunts and rummage through the building, we can find the Galactic Key and stumble upon what I hope is not a cult meeting. We can eventually find Cyrus afterwards and have another battle. Sneasel and Honchkrow get one-shot by Thunderbolts, and Crobat's is Psychic. We then run to Saturn, who tries to keep us from the Lake Spirits, but does a pretty crappy job. With the Lake Spirits freed, we can battle through an army of grunts to reach the peak of Mount Coronet and Spear Pillar. With help from Barry and his team, we can do away with Jupiter and Mars, but we couldn't stop Cyrus from summoning Dialga, Palkia, and literal Satan himself. We dive into the Distortion World to chase after Cyrus, and after navigating this freaky deaky landscape, we can eventually find him. We enter another battle, and it did not go well. Ralts is unable to knock out Houndoom, allowing it to get off big damage with Dark Pulse. But it eventually faints, and so does Honchkrow soon after. Weavile, however, tested my morals. With both X-Scissor and Night Slash, it had two super effective, 100% accurate moves. So I had to get by this battle with cheeky RNG. If you haven't caught on yet, I'm talking about Double Team. Unlike the battles against Rourke and Jupiter in Eterna City, where Double Team was used to bypass grinding, this time it had to solely be used to get past a battle. It's going like this for a lot more battles from here on out, but I'll discuss those more at the end of the video, so let's just keep going with the challenge. With a couple Double Teams set up, all of Cyrus's Pokemon faint with 1 to 2 shots each, and we move on to the big boss, the king of the Distortion World, Giratina. Yeah, I'm just going to throw the Master Ball. With that, we can leave the Distortion World and start to head east of the Valor Lakefront to Sunny Shore City. Upon entering the gym, we have a quick chat with Flynn of the Elite Four about how Volkner doesn't feel challenged, so once we find him at the lighthouse, we drag his sorry butt back to the gym so we can battle him. Joshian gets some chip damage with Quick Attack, but with some healing and a few more Psychics, it goes down. Next is Raichu, and it gets one shot by Psychic, and Luxray suffers the same fate. Electivire almost follows suit, moves on one, munches on a berry, and when it faints the next turn, we get our final gym badge. Once we head north and up a waterfall, we can enter Victory Road, battle our way through, and arrive at the Pokemon League. Once we heal and do some prep work, Barry shows up for one final showdown. Straptor faints to a Thunderbolt, Heracross to a Psychic, Floatzel to a Thunderbolt, Roserade to a Psychic, Snorlax would have beaten us if it weren't for Grass Knot getting a critical hit with the second attack, and finally Infernape faints to another Psychic. Also, remember how earlier I said that Double Team was going to be used a lot for upcoming battles? Yeah, I wasn't kidding. After multiple attempts and grinding to level 100, I was finally able to get a solid run at Aaron. Since he leads with the Mega, Trace copies Speed Boost, which was pretty nice for the rest of his Pokemon. After Double Team, Yanmega goes down to a Thunderbolt, and Scizor faints in 2 hits. Vespiquen gets one shot as well, and Drapion goes down after 2 Thunderbolts. His final Pokemon is Heracross, and it falls to a Psychic. We basically have to get through this battle completely unscathed because Bertha enjoys setting up Sandstorm. Luckily, Grass Knot can knock out all of her heavyweights, but Gliscor can take one. But it gets taken out before it can even deal any damage. Next is Flint, and we have to set up Double Team once again. If not, Houndoom, Flareon, and Magmortar would have taken us out with Dark Pulse, Overheat, and Flamethrower respectively. Luckily, all of his Pokemon go down in 2 hits or less, and we can move on to Lucian. For this battle, I taught Astral Shadow Ball, but this battle still pissed me off. Without fail, Mr. Mime would set up Light Screen and Reflect at the beginning of every turn. I took those turns and used Double Team, only to get hit by 2 Thunderbolts back to back. This happened countless times, and the sheer joy I released when beating this mime into the dirt was tremendous. Once it's finally put away, we can take down the rest of Lucian's team with a flurry of Shadow Balls. When we move on to Cynthia, multiple Double Teams start off the battle, and Spiritomb gets whittled down by 3 Thunderbolts. Next is Lucario, who unexpectedly gets outsped and one-shot by a crit Psychic. Garchomp comes out and misses all of its attacks, only to be healed multiple times, and falls to a Grass Knot, as does Milotic a few turns later. Roserade is 5th, and 1 Psychic does it in. Finally, Cynthia's last Pokemon is a Togekiss, who has Shockwave as one of its moves. Shockwave lands because it can never miss, but it only does about half the damage needed to take out Astral, and we strike back with a Thunderbolt to knock out Togekiss, officially making us the champion of Sinnoh with only a single Ralts. But I don't feel very good about it. Double Team turns every battle into complete RNG, but using it was the only way to continue with this challenge. When it was used against Rourke and Jupiter in Eterna City, that was just to avoid more grinding, so I'll give those a pass. But without Double Team, this challenge most likely would have ended against Cyrus in the Distortion World. Weavile is incredibly fast and hits super hard, not to mention it has Night Slash and Axe Scissor, two 100% accurate moves that are super effective on Ralts. So if I wasn't clear enough, this wouldn't have been possible without Double Team, considering the fact that the last 5 of 8 main battles relied heavily on it. So from here on out, I'm going to ban Double Team for all my challenge videos. So I guess the big question is, can you beat Pokemon Platinum with only a Ralts? And the answer is yes. Reluctantly, I have to give it a yes. Like I said, this is only possible through Double Team RNG, but that's besides the point right now. Thank you again to Deborah McLean for suggesting this video, and I hope you all enjoyed. Please like, subscribe, and comment down below what challenge you'd like to see me attempt in the future. And with that guys, I'm Buddy Absol, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.